Hello everyone. Once again, Stan here for another webinar, partner client solutions executive at Cleverence. And today we are going to talk about something that affects every warehouse operation sooner or later. So essentially how to make your ERP and your real world processes actually talk to each other. Today we're going to be comparing Odoo's Barcode app and our Cleverence inventory. By then, you'll have a clear idea which approach fits your business today and what will still work when you scale. Okay? Let's change the slide. So a little bit about me, a quick intro, and about our company as well. So I've worked in a warehouse setting, retail, manufacturing, had clients across many regions, helping them modernize operations without breaking what already works, essentially. That's what we try to achieve. Cleverence has been around for over 20 years. We focus purely on mobile automation, barcode, RFID, and inventory control. So what you'll hear today comes from real projects, what works in practice, what doesn't, and where the real return comes from. All right. So a quick plan for today's webinar. It'll be around 1 hour. That's usually what we try to go with. And our plan for this session, so we're gonna start with the typical warehouse challenges. So what's really happening day to day in the operations. Then we'll cover the basics of barcoding. So what is a barcode? How we scan the barcode? Just basic things to have a better understanding of these important aspects of inventory management. So what does the barcode fix and what it can fix alone? Okay, so after that, we'll walk through Odoo Barcode. We'll see where it performs well and where it struggles. And then we'll switch to Cleverence Inventory, the mobile first layer that adds speed, offline reliability, and control. Finally, we'll compare them, look at costs and rollout, and finish with real customer results. Some of the case studies, essentially. So what is a barcode? You can see a few barcode types on this slide. There are all sorts of different ones, but essentially they all, what barcode actually does. It's a visual code that stores any sort of data, essentially. So it stores items ID. It could be like an SKU, batch, serial number, anything like that. It essentially holds any kind of information that we want it to hold. Okay. Scanning replaces typing, so you remove human error right at the start. It just completely, gets rid of that human error process where the manual typing is just not something that you can be doing on a daily basis in a workflow in the 21st century, I would say. So once every product and location has its barcode, your system can instantly recognize what's being moved or counted. So that's essentially what it is. And so the scanning itself, it's just about speed and precision, essentially. When you scan, you don't just capture an ID, you confirm that the system and the physical world match. That's essentially what it is. You just validate those things. There's no manual entries now, there's no typos, no confusion between similar codes. Right, so the result is cleaner data, less rework, and faster throughput. Obviously, we all want to achieve that, so why not do it already? But we'll talk about that in a moment. So what is mobile scanning? Mobile scanning moves that precision directly to the floor. So instead of jotting notes and updating later, staff scan at the shelf, the dock, or the production line. Essentially, they're scanning and confirming all the operations that they're doing, any kind of manipulation that they have to do with the product. They're essentially capturing that through the mobile device. That real-time capture means that your ERP or backend system is always in sync with what's actually happening on the warehouse floor, any kind of facility, an actual floor. It's the difference between reacting after mistakes and preventing them altogether. Huge difference. So we want to make sure that all of our data is essentially all the time. The data that we're looking at is the most up-to-date, most accurate data. Wherever we're looking at, from mobile device, from the ERP system, we always want to make sure that it's actually up to date. So some of the advantages of the barcodes, scanning the barcodes, essentially barcoding. You can see the four key advantages. So essentially, it's accuracy, mobility, speed, and simplicity. Each one matters. So, and together they transform your operation. Accurate data reduce shrinkage. Mobility keeps workflows flowing. Speed boosts capacity. Simplicity keeps training short and adoption high. It all just makes sense. But which challenges still remain open, like after we already implemented barcoding and some sort of scanning technology? So even with great scanning, problems can persist. If the software doesn't enforce steps, users can still skip validations or move the wrong stock. And if the app depends on constant internet, you're dead in the water when Wi-Fi drops. So the next question is, how do you close those gaps? That's where the software layer becomes critical. So what kind of software we're using, the features, the capabilities, etc. So let's take a look at the Odoo Barcode app. So here's how Odoo Barcode looks like. I think there's a couple of screenshots of what it looks like on the web interface and what it looks on their application on the mobile device. So it adds barcode fields and scanning actions inside Odoo's warehouse modules. So you can scan to receive, pick, move, count, and all of this is within your ERP interface. It's convenient, pretty familiar, obviously, for people who are using this ERP system, and perfect for companies just starting to digitalize their warehouse. So it's just a simple, quick solution that works essentially. Now, when we go into the actual, features that it has, the typical flows are straightforward. So receive goods against PO, purchase order, pick orders, record internal moves, or perform cycle counts. It's all tied directly to Odoo documents, which is fine when volumes are low and processes are linear. Okay, but you can see here how the interface is still document based. So each operation depends on the ERP record being open and live. That means more scrolling, more taps, and total reliance on internet connectivity. So with the Odoo Barcode app, you do need internet to be able to do all those workflows to keep that going. Now, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, there we go. So this slide highlights control limitations. So Odoo Barcode doesn't always stop a raw action. You can still process, reserve, stock, or skip location validation. So obviously there's some, tweaks that can be done, but it's not as customizable as we would like it to be. It keeps data entry light, but sometimes too light for environments that need strict checks. Okay, so there we go. So when customization is needed, so for example, enforcing lot scanning or adding extra fields, it often requires a lot of developer work. So a lot of custom development, not something that a lot of businesses want to, essentially get themselves involved in. So that's fine for one project, but over time, constant tweaks may make it really hard to maintain as well, right? So, so the next slide, there we go. So as this slide sums up, as we're talking about the Odoo barcoding app, what can we kind of summarize and highlight of that? It's great for simple operations. That's it. So, but once you deal with multiple users, complex flows, or unstable Wi-Fi, you start feeling the limits because all of those things that we talked about. It is great, but it's not a full system that you're kind of looking for, and I'll explain in a minute why. And that's exactly where specialized mobile software becomes worth it. So mobile first solutions, and this is where we come in. So now we move to Cleverence Inventory, the mobile app built for warehouse speed and reliability. Oh, I think I'm on the wrong slide. There we go. Sorry about that. Got one step ahead of myself. So essentially, the core idea is it's a mobile-first interface that connects directly to your ERP or backend system. Operators work from simple task screens, so the UI is very, very simple, very straightforward. So like receive, pick, move, count, each with guided steps and enforced validation checks. Even if the network goes down, the app keeps working offline and syncs automatically when it's back. Because the way we're handling the data, the documents, they're stored on the device after we've downloaded them. It doesn't really matter if we don't have any connectivity. We're not losing any data or any work that we've already done. It's stored on the device. Whenever the Wi-Fi comes back on, that's going to be instantly synced back with the backend system. Very convenient. Here we show the connections that we have with Odoo. So Cleverence talks to both community and enterprise editions, Odoo SH or online. It reads products, location, and stock data and sends completed transactions right back, all through secure API sync. So your ERP remains a system of record while your team gains a purpose-built mobile experience. That's what we try to do. Essentially, everything that you're doing, you're going to be seeing in Odoo. You're going to be seeing it from on our side as well, and vice versa. As soon as you create a purchase order in Odoo, you'll be able to see that PO right on our device. The synchronization is fully real time, so you never have to worry about any kind of data discrepancies. Now, let's go to the next one. The biggest thing with us is we're hardware agnostic, and this slide highlights those, some of our supported devices. We essentially run on any Android hardware. To this day, I think we have over 800 mobile devices and printers integrated with our software, with our applications. Here, we do have a couple of scanners there. But essentially, to give you like an idea, we're partnered with big manufacturers like Zebra, Honeywell, Rovo, Sunmi, Point Mobile, all those great manufacturers of these mobile devices. So potentially any kind of device that if you already have currently in your at your facility, most likely our application will work on those devices right out of the box. So you don't need to have that additional spending on the hardware. Okay. The only thing to keep in mind is we work on Android or Windows OS, so we don't have Apple integration currently. So, and also just to test out our solution, you can always download application just on a regular Android smartphone and just use it with a regular camera. Not practical, but just to test it out is totally doable. So now, what else did I want to mention on this slide? Oh yeah, and the fact that we're also, as I mentioned, integrated with all those mobile printers, and there's another feature that we have. We can print barcodes and do a lot of things right from the mobile device with the mobile printer. So we can, print labels, print location labels, a lot of things like that can be done on the go without the need to go to the desktop computer to initiate any of those actions. So now let's go to the next one. So there we go. So why do companies switch? Oh, I think I still got to be on this one. There we go. So because they need the offline work, they need real-time validation and speed and accuracy. Cleverence blocks wrong scans instantly, logs correct ones, and works through power cuts and Wi-Fi dead zone. So it's built for people who move products all day, not for those sitting at a desk. Let's say it like that. So essentially, a lot of these things that we can do, it's very easily to customize our application, as we were talking about the Odoo side, for example. It's complex customizations. With us, everything's already built. Some kind of tweaks, anything that needs to be done, we can do it from our end, no problem. So now let's go back to this one, the comparison table. So now to kind of go with, we were talking about Odoo, and now we're going to compare it to Cleverence inventory. So now, both handle core warehouse operations, so receiving, transfers, picking, and counts. The difference is how reliably and how efficiently they do it. Cleverence runs these workflows with enforced validation, offline continuity, and optimized mobile UX and UI, which translates to fewer mistakes and faster turnover. That's pretty much it. Very straightforward. Not gonna get into the pricing and stuff like that just yet, but essentially that there's a lot of things to keep in mind there as well. Now, also for advanced operations, so like batch or cluster picking, owner management, packaging logic, Cleverence provides built-in options. Auto barcode can achieve similar outcomes, but usually needs really heavy customization and manual confirmation. So as complexity grows, the gap widens, and I'm sure you can see how how that's happening. So now let's go to the next one. Um, Controls and configuration are critical. So Cleverence lets you decide exactly what's mandatory to scan, what's restricted, and what messages appear when someone tries to break a rule. You can even configure this per role. If there's like certain users, warehouse manager can have different options than the regular warehouse worker. For example. That flexibility keeps order accuracy high without overloading users. Now, this one, the next slide. Hopefully I'm on the right one. This slide focuses on reliability. Let me just confirm which slide I'm at. Perfect. That's the one I want to be at. Cleverence supports multiple languages, full true offline mode, and dedicated device support. Operators can keep scanning all day. When the connection returns, data syncs automatically. So no duplicates, no lost transactions, everything is always in sync. So it's an industrial grade reliability for everyday warehouse use. All right. So to sum it all up, the comparison you see here, auto barcode, simple, built-in, perfect for light operations. Cleverence inventory is more advanced, mobile first, reliable under heavy use. So if you expect growth, you need real-time control and or operate across multiple facilities. Cleverence simply scales better. So that's just to kind of sum it up. That's what it is. Okay. So what do you need to do? This is like your action list. Start labeling products, locations, storage bins. If you're not doing that already, you should. Whichever kind of software, whatever kind of solutions you're going to go with, one way or another, you want to shift from the manual processes and start implementing these solutions as soon as possible. So, where were we? Start labeling. So we started labeling. What do we do next? We choose the devices. Get Android phones or professional scanners plus a printer for labels. You can just start off with one mobile device, one mobile printer, for example. You can already start, labeling maybe your product by sections. Maybe like you have different product types, but you can start doing that already like tomorrow. After that, you train your staff. So 10 minutes of hands-on scanning beats any kind of manual operations. So you basically just, teach your staff, invest some time into that because that will return much greater, better results in the future. Refine the process. Make the mobile flow the single source of truth. Get these 4 right, and your automation project will succeed. So those are just kind of general, things that you want to start off with. As soon as you start doing those things, you'll understand, and it'll become more clear visually as well in your actual operations in your mind as to how this is going to speed up and improve your workflows from day one as soon as you start doing it properly with labeling and validation steps throughout all the operations essentially. Now, next slide. So that's the look at the final system. I think I skipped a slide. Yeah, there we go. That's where I want to be. So if you'd like to explore farther, we just wanted to quickly say you can visit cleverence.com. You can download demo builds, check guides, and you can contact us, of course, and request like a pilot or anything like that we can show you exactly how this solution would work in your environment. So we can also show you like actual receiving or counting flow in the app using your data as well. We can try that as well, and this can be done within days. So keep that in mind. The whole point of our solution is that it's very quick and easy. The deployment time is usually 4 to 8 weeks if we have the integration ready with the backend system. But we're already integrated with most major ERP systems, so like SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, Odoo, as we were talking about it today, and many more. So that gives you an idea of how quickly you can start and switching towards the inventory automation starting like tomorrow rather than in half a year and a year. You don't need to be thinking about that. With us, in a couple of months, you already be up and running with a new automation system, essentially. Now, to quickly talk about of our products, we have a couple of them. So it's a full Cleverence family. It's not just the warehouse. So we have the inventory for core stock operations, essentially. Inventory for Odoo, obviously, we have it as a ready-made integration for full, ERP integration, essentially. Store ops, it's for retails, for retail operations, for retail businesses. Delivery ops for logistics and distribution. So essentially, if you want to track the couriers, things like that. And we have factory ops as well as assets. Those two are for production and asset tracking. They all share the same mobile engine, so it's all built on Cleverence platform. So expanding later is seamless because if you as you need additional applications, additional features, additional operations. As I mentioned, the platform is very low code, so it's very easy to customize and scale as you grow. Now, where were we here? There we go. So here's how it all fits together. So devices, barcode, RFID scanning, and real-time integration. Essentially, every scan becomes structured data sent to your ERP. That means accurate stock counts, traceability, and visibility. Not after the shift, but as it happens. So that's the biggest thing that I want you to take out of this from today's session is the fact that you always want to have live data in front of you wherever you are, whenever you want to access it, whether that's from the mobile device, from the desktop, so from the backend system, doesn't matter. You always want to have the most accurate data. That's going to save you a lot of time and money at the end. So how do we implement? Step by step. It's very simple. So we usually set up a quick call where if you have any questions in regards to Cleverence, I can introduce you, and one of our sales managers can introduce you to what we do, our applications. Then we gather some information in regards to your pain points, what you're looking for right now, just to try and understand your setup. And after that, we usually try to create like a pilot or show you a demo. If it is possible, we would like to get like sample data from you so we can show you a short pilot demonstration with your actual data. So with your actual product, it's just going to be more it's going to look more like it's in your operations, that you're actually using that your product. So we do that. We take that and we show you a live demo. We configure the device, show you how the application looks like, the UI, how we print the labels, just a quick couple of steps just so you understand how the logic works. And then after that, we set up a more detailed meeting where we gather more information, try to understand the whole project scope, and then we come up with a commercial proposal, essentially. And that's that. So you scale from one process to full warehouse as confidence builds, essentially. So we're not just putting like a whole project right away. We want to take it one step at a time, make sure that you're comfortable with our system and you fully understand the value and the features that it offers before we go into a full project. But as I mentioned, the project times could vary a lot. Depends on the complexity, customization needs, things like that. But keep in mind, as I said, it would take around 48 weeks, depending again on the complexity of the project. But let's aim for that if an integration is available. So that's that. Now let's go to the next one with the actual hardware. Yep, that's the one. So how do we calculate this project cost? This slide gives you like a clear cost of what it would look like for the actual pilot setup. The actual project cost if we're just doing certain operations. So let me explain that a little bit better. So if we're talking about the hardware, the rugged scanner, those could vary. Obviously, again, all these prices are just general prices in regards to the hardware, and the services could vary again, depends on the complexity, all that stuff. I'm not gonna repeat myself too much. So now let's just say the handheld device, the mobile computer, usually costs roughly from $400 to up to whatever price, but let's say $500 to $1,000, and the label printer is about $500. That is very true. So for the hardware, just to start off, that's going to be our pricing. So somewhere around $1,200 for the hardware. Now for the software, we have obviously different types of subscription. We have a monthly subscription as well as a lifetime purchase. So here this is cost not per month. It's actually cost for 3 months. Made a mistake on my slide here. My apologies. But yeah, so the 188 is just a price for 3 months for our advanced license. That's just to give you an idea of what the pricing is looking like. And all of our licenses work per the device, by the way, not per user. So meaning that this license that you're purchasing is going to be attached to that mobile computer that we talked about, the handheld. But that handheld can be used as many users as needed. So that's very convenient, again, as you're starting off. If you're just switching from the manual processes and you want to have full mobile automation, inventory automation, as you can see, you can start off pretty, without a lot of huge investments right from the start, essentially. So now, so in regards to licenses, that's that. In regards to implementation and the actual services, so warehouse team training, as you can see, the pricing is there. We also have IT team training. It's usually a good thing because we want to essentially teach your IT guys, if you guys have them, so they can do all the customizations and things like that within our software, within our platform on their own. So then, again, makes it much easier for you to scale. You don't have to call us, for example, each and every time you want to tweak the application. You can actually do it on your own with your own IT in-house team. But that's if you have it. If you don't have it, of course, we'll be able to do that for you. Now, as you can see, we have receiving, stock taking, picking, and shipping. So those are just 3 general operations that we have. But just to give you an idea of what the pricing will be, just to set up those operations. So you can aim for those prices per operation that we are setting up in your facility. So these are the prices just to get everything up and running. And, just to give you an idea, this is a rough estimate as to what the cost will be, just to get things up and running. Again, repeating myself there. No worries. All right, so now I have quick case studies. So this is APMG. This is a real example of a case study that we have in Dubai. APMG is a 3PL auto spare parts provider based in UAE. And essentially their issue was they had an ERP system, but they were doing the actual inventory management, operations within their inventory. All right. So like receiving, picking and shipping. They were doing all of those manually. So they were printing out the work order and they would track it manually. So that caused a lot of errors, delays, and production throughput was the speed was not there, obviously. And essentially, though, with us, they scaled from manual tracking to full mobile automation. They are actually using over 17 mobile devices concurrently, so you can imagine how much of a stress that puts on our system, but it works perfectly fine. And these guys, also this warehouse, APMG has over 100,000 SKUs, so you can imagine of how much volume that we had to deal with, and they're dealing with on a daily basis, and our system is able to suffice them with what they're looking for. So the results: pick and speed up nearly 4 times, stock errors down to 99%, smoother integration with their ERP system. I believe they had in-house ERP system that we're able to connect to. And also another good thing here, obviously we had better production and happier staff on the floor, because they're not now, panically searching for parts, doing all this stuff. The app guides them to where they need to go, which location they need to pick from, things like that. So just everything becomes much simpler and more accurate, of course. So the other one that I have here is Blacksmith Coffee Company. It's another good case. They're also based in Dubai. and they essentially, before us, they tracked roasting and packaging in Excel and QuickBooks Online. And they wanted to track all of their stock. So they were receiving raw beans, and they wanted to track their, from the actual raw materials to actually delivering the coffee. That's what they were trying to achieve. And we're able to provide them with a solution using actually two of our applications. So we use Cleverence Inventory and Delivery Ops for tracking their couriers. So after rollout, every batch carried a barcode, every movement was scanned. So they gained full live visibility across roasting, packaging, and dispatch, and their fulfillment time dropped drastically, of course. So again, great results. Now, the next steps. So your next step is actually very simple. Pick one for workflow, maybe receiving or inventory counting, cycle counting, and run a short pilot with in our demo environment. We can set it up for you. Label everything. Use mobile scanning, measure time and error reduction. And if you see the improvement, and you will, expand to picking and transfers. That's how most of our clients start their automation journey. So you just start with something simple. You don't need to just, don't think of it like a whole project that like tomorrow you need to stop your operations, put everything on pause. No, you can just start simple, take one location, take small amount of inventory, test it out, see how it's helping you out, and slowly expand. Just operation by operation, and then boom, all of a sudden you don't have that stress on the whole workflow. You've slowly just moved to a full automation within a couple of months. So that's that. Here's my contact information. You can always contact me by phone, by WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever, by email as well, of course. So thanks for spending time with me today. If you'd like a tailored walkthrough and a more personal discussion, let's put it like that, feel free to contact me. As I mentioned, I already went through the steps of how we're working together and stuff. It's very straightforward. I'm not going to bombard you with too many questions. When you first contact us, we'll just have a quick conversation just to understand what your needs are and stuff. But essentially, that's that. Everything is on the screen. Please do contact us. We can have a joint discussion, and we'll go from there. See if we're a good fit for what you're looking for. But that's that. That's about it. Thank you so much for spending the time again, for joining us today. Hopefully, I was able to provide some good insights on, the Odoo barcoding app, what we do, the differences, and, essentially how, once again, as always, inventory automation helps automate the businesses and improve speed, accuracy, and everything, essentially. So that's that. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was my pleasure, and I wish you all a great week. It's Monday today, so have a great week and a great day. All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.